You ever heard of panda? You basically have a certain nerve in your rectum, and if you touch that nerve, you can turn a person into an animal. You can turn a person into whatever you want them to be if you just hold them down. When you see black eyes like Blueface, he got beat up, but he didn't get beat up where you thought he got beat up. The eyes come out, and they call them panda eyes.
Yeah, let's take this off, shall we? Hey guys, it's Adria. Welcome back to my channel. So for today's video, we are going to be talking about the Panda Eyes conspiracy theory. So first of all, I just have to give a massive thank you to the response on my very first video on this channel, which was my last video about the Balenciaga scandal. I was not expecting 10,000 views, so I got a few questionable comments on that Balenciaga video. People saying, look into the Panda Eyes conspiracy, and a lot of people being angry at me for having pandas behind me, and that my username is Adria Panda, and to that, I'll drink some tea. So I had heard of the Panda Eyes thing before. I don't know, but I never looked into it for myself. I'm glad that this was brought to my attention because I wouldn't want to be repping something that is associated with something gross. However, in case we've forgotten, pandas are also just cute animals. Now, I'm not saying that things can't take on a double meaning. You know, a panda is not a unicorn. It's not a made-up thing. Even to all the people that were upset at me having panda imagery behind me, let's not forget that it is also a cute, fun animal. I mean, look at this video I found of one recently. So are we gonna say that you can't own a pet snake because in the Bible, Satan is depicted as a serpent? Like, see where we can start snowballing things with what they represent? When is it reaching too far? I don't know where some of y'all get arms this long. This is incredible. Reaching like this. But anyway, I digress. Let's get into Panda Eyes. So Panda Eyes is a slang term used for child sodomy. Children can sustain black circles around the eyes due to trauma. Obviously, any person reading these things, it would be like, oh, this is gross. I'm glad that, you know, people were commenting this, telling me to look into this. But I found it funny that people were telling me to look into this, and it took me less than 15 minutes of research to discover that this isn't even real. Let me just say, I was not going into this with a bias. I was like, oh, this is serious. This is scary. This is disgusting. Let me do a video about this. Fact check alert. So there is no medical evidence to back these types of bruises being sustained in this way. No evidence Panda Eyes bruising is a pedophile phenomenon or slang term. Interesting. And this article is from 2020. There's just a picture that says, not real thing. And when I saw this, I was like, holy crap. But it kind of seems like this whole thing got started in like a Facebook group from what I could find. It was hard to even find an origin story for this. So there's no medical evidence sodomy causes these types of injuries in children. An image of a child often used in social media making the claim comes from a documentary shot in Gaza during the 2014 war. The pattern of bruising around her eye sockets, referred to by some as panda eyes, were the result of war injuries, not sexual acts. There is no evidence to support the claim that such injuries are a real thing in pedophile circles. There was also this screenshot of an Urban Dictionary definition for Panda Eyes that I will put up on the screen. Oh, like, here's the definition of it. Not that Urban Dictionary is the most credible source of information, but, like, here it is. Except when you try to go to that on Urban Dictionary, that's not the definition you get. When a girl wearing mascara has a shower and it causes her eyes to look dark like a panda. Somebody went to such a great length to spread this as a story, and it's not even real. To say I was baffled is an understatement because I was so ready to go down this rabbit hole with you guys. Anytime there's like a conspiracy going around, I'm like, oh, like, let me look into this. Let me see what this is about. Let me see if there's any merit to this, right? The fact that so easily this was debunked, I'm just like, y'all, And listen, I am not saying there are not evil things happening in this world. The Balenciaga video I posted, I said in that video that the Balenciaga thing was not the beginning of this and it is not the end of this. However, I am not one of those people that has to go searching for things. And we can be mad about children being abused without having to make stuff up like this. Children get abused. We don't have to call it Panda Eyes. We don't have to put a picture of a little girl in a war to paint a picture of something else. Why? Why? This is kind of a weird comparison, but this is kind of like when I've seen influencers on the internet have their pictures or videos stolen to promote products. And then the influencer finds it and they're like, I'm not even using this product in this video. Why are we associating something with something else that has nothing to do with it? And to the people that were upset about this Panda Eyes thing, like, I understand. If you thought this was real, I can understand why you're upset. So the internet also associates Lady Gaga a lot with Panda Eyes. So there's this post of Lady Gaga with black eye makeup on, but the post provides no evidence that she's sending out a signal. It's quite literally just black eye makeup. I, for one, as a woman on the internet, understand how angry the internet gets at makeup. But again, why don't we get angry at actual stuff instead of trying to draw these dots and connect them? And it's such a stretch.
Take a look at this.
Now let's talk about Panda Eye.
Can we talk about
Panda Eye?
Please, Mac, I'm dying to talk about
Panda Eye
with you all day, okay?
I remember there was this whole scandal with Ellen DeGeneres where she had this painting in her house and everybody was saying like, oh, it was demonic. Like, oh, look at this, look at this. I took one look at it and I actually burst out laughing because I'm like, y'all know that's a Basquiat painting? Hey, this painting looks scary. It must mean something. There is simulated bad things, and then there's actual bad things. People are genuinely mad at former Nickelodeon producer Dan Schneider for being a creep behind the scenes and sneaking weird, disgusting fetish shit into his shows. People are mad at that because while the shows he made were for kids, and they were funny and lighthearted, at the core, there was something disgusting going on. So it's not always about how something looks. It's about what's going on behind the scenes. And instead of being mad at me for having a panda blanket thumbtacked to my wall, let's be mad at actual evil in the world. We don't have to look for subliminal messages. Let's just be mad at stuff that actually exists.
There is no
Panda Eyes
in HR.
So the Urban Dictionary definition of Panda Eyes is now archived. It no longer exists. Aaron Peckham, the founder and CEO of the site, wrote a blog post, archived here, on July 7th, 2020, remarking the site had been increasingly used to post abusive content in recent years and promising to review procedures around removing such items. It is likely the definition in question was removed under these policies. In defense of the people that even believed this conspiracy, I was like, okay, you know, like they could be trying to like cover this up and take this down. Until we have medical professionals weighing in on this. Peer-reviewed medical journals are in agreement that brain tumors and skull traumas are the main causes of swollen and discolored eye regions in children, and they do not mention as a possibility. Raccoon eye is produced by blood tracking into preorbital tissues, causing blue or purple discoloration of the upper and lower eyelids, which is a frequent symptom after traumatic injuries to the head and neck. This was what I found really interesting though, and this was what solidified for me that this was just not a real thing. A forensic sexual assault examiner Kimberly A. Bassinger told Lead Stories, "I take care of child victims before court. I am called to testify in court. I have never seen this type of eye discoloration related to sodomy." Bassinger, despite practicing since 1996 and seeing close to 800 sexually abused children, had not heard the term panda eyes before speaking with Lead Stories. Swelling can happen if the child has been crying for a long time. Other reasons for petechiae or burst capillaries in the eyes are straining or bearing down from constipation, strangling, or violent vomiting. People are taking pictures of children with bruised eyes and making up a backstory for it. Imagine you are in a country that is at war, and this is your child with bruised eyes, and then the internet is making up a story about what happened to your child. Especially something as disgusting as sexual trauma. That is so disrespectful and disgusting, and like, this is a real child. Why are we making stuff up about her? That's... Can we not? This reminds me of a recent Dr. Phil clip I saw. I just gotta include it because this whole video just kind of gives me this vibe.
This right here was the coded portion, correct?
Correct.
And you're saying 48, that is the year you were born? So therefore that identified you.
I believe it did, yes.
Okay, so you interpret this to be a K.
Yes.
And then a 2,
yes,
meaning kill 2.
Correct.
You and your wife.
Meaning me and my wife.
So this would be theory 1. What is your zip code?
48162.
48162. So is it possible that alternative 2 is that what this says is 4, 8, 1, 6, 2. And the 6 just butted up against the 1, as opposed to that being a coded death threat from your son.
I would say it could, but I can't see it.
And that was written by a 7-year-old.
Listen, I know symbolism, it's a heavy thing. There was a story years ago. This girl had a swastika tattoo, and she was defending it, saying that swastikas were symbols of peace. Not really what everybody associates it with. So I understand that words, symbols, things can be ruined or tainted despite what they originally meant. You know, Columbine was originally a flower, but that's not really what you think of when you hear that word anymore. I don't like that people thought that I just had this imagery behind me, like I was a part of it somehow. I didn't like those dots being connected. I'm like, listen, I'm on here talking about the Balenciaga thing. I'm here talking about people that abuse children. Why? Don't bite the hand that feeds. In conclusion, using images to create a conspiracy or drive a narrative, it just doesn't sit right with me. It really truly doesn't. Like I said, there's already enough gross things happening in the world that we don't really need to make any more up. We don't always need to put pictures to things. I think what we should actually do is redirect this energy to protecting children from harm IRL rather than being mad at Lady Gaga for wearing black on her eyes. My mom always told me to pick and choose my battles, and this one just, it doesn't seem like something worth being angry about. If anything, I'm angry that I almost fell for it. If you were one of the people that commented for me to look into this, I hope that, you know, we've all learned something today. I surely did. Next, the internet's gonna be telling me the earth is flat, and you know what, guys? I'm not here for it. So thank you guys so much for watching today. If you enjoyed, don't forget to give it a thumbs up and subscribe. I am trying to reach 1,000 subscribers, so your contribution would be much appreciated. Let me know what topics you would like me to discuss in the future, current events, controversies, internet things, anything, I don't know. And let me enjoy my pandas because they didn't do anything. Do your research. I'll see you next time. Goodbye.